There we go. I just hit record. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the webinar, A New Library Staff User Training. My name is Jim Martin. I am your support person at OME-RESA. How's that? A while back, Angie, who is in charge, the director at OME-RESA, had sent out this document as an email to all library staff. And so it does talk about, when you need help, there's the OME-RESA website, the email address of cersei@omeresa.net that will get forwarded to me. That'll go into the InfoOhio help desk. That'll create a ticket and we'll correspond back and forth via that. When, if you email me directly, which by the way is martin@infoohio.org, that's fine. I'll just take that email, I'll copy it into the help desk system, and then I'll reply from there. You'll get an email from the help desk system at any time. Just if you have a question on that issue, just hit the reply button on your email, type your answer and send it. You don't have to like put something special in the to button. But if you're opening a new issue, please do it at cersei@omeresa.net. And then if you do call Dave's old extension, 740-283-2050-102, that will ring here at the InfoOhio offices. There are 7 of us on staff. So in case I'm not available, like right now, if you would happen to call, it would ring at the office and one of the other 6 would pick it up. So not only are while you're not getting Dave, you're actually getting seven people to support you instead. And then of course there's the link to the InfoOhio resources, and then the library workflows handbook. We're going to go there in just a second. And then they put together some short direct links to some of the more commonly used functions within workflows. Any questions on, did you all receive a copy of this in your email?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You could send it again, because I like to print this stuff out and keep it in the workflows folder.
I will do that. It was sent out over the summer, and it was purposely done like this, like double-sided, with the idea, like you said, Michelle, to go ahead and you print it, keep it nearby, so that if you do have, if things go belly up, you've got that information you need right away. So I will print this and send out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to print it. I'm going to just send it out. I'm sorry. What?
Is that the one that's like 10 or 12 pages long? Yeah.
No,
I got that in the email.
It should only be 2 pages long.
No, I got something long. It was like 10 pages long.
Oh my. I wonder what that was.
I mean, because I think it's that.
In that case, they did a boo-boo, because my version is only 2 pages. If you don't mind forwarding me a copy of that, I'd be really curious to see what you got.
All right.
Thanks.
That's Judy.
That's Judy. Thanks, Judy. Meanwhile, so I've made a note here on my pad here. I will email the help doc at the end of today's meeting, and I'll probably send that out to. I might send that out to the entire listserv, so in case others didn't get it, they'll have a fresh version. So that's how you can get assistance. Yeah, I'm real easy. I try to make it easy going. Basically, however you get a hold of me, whether it be phone, Dave's phone, email, text message, smoke signal, postcard, whatever. Whatever it takes to get a hold of me, I'm more than happy to talk to you. Make sense? All righty. Now we're going to talk about logging in. So it's been a summer, so it's probably been a while. So when you go to log in, I forgot. I'm sorry, we are talking with Indian Creek. I've got my cheat sheet right here. That's everybody's port numbers. If you ever need something like this, I can always take this, put this together, and email it to you as a reminder. And this has the IP address, and it'll have the port number for your district and your username and password. If you ever need that, I'll be happy to put this together as a document you can take, print out, file away just in case. But the answer comes down to, and I believe I sent a reminder out on this just a couple weeks ago, that during the summer, the tech people like to get these notes out of the way. Excuse me. The district tech people like to clean up computers over the summer. And in the process, when you go to start workflows for the year, this screen right here will be blank. It'll look like that. And then you need to put in the correct answers. So the, as a reminder, the IP address for you all is OME-RESA.infohio.org. And the port number for Indian Creek Local Schools is 5680. And then you can go ahead and log in with your username and password. I'm actually going to log in to our test instance because we are going to be looking at some, student names and whatnot. And since I'm recording this, we don't need to share that with the rest of the world. Does everybody remember their username and password from last year?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, you think so?
You might be getting some emails to reset, huh?
Exactly. And not a problem, easy peasy.
I mean, I remember mine for workflows, but I cannot get on my desktop computer because our IT tech changed all that.
Oh, we should have grabbed him.
He knows. He
Okay.
knows. I did yesterday while I was at open house.
He's only
Nope.
one person with a lot of jobs.
Yeah, and the beginning of the year, this unfortunately happens a lot, that there's a lot of like, beginning of the school year, and we all know how important the library is, but we also realize that the students probably need to be fed first before they check out a library book, things like that. So, all right, so then once we're in, let's just move around. Actually, before we do that, we're going to talk about getting started in workflows. We already looked at how to log in. I guess what I really should have shown, as I forgot, is to get to these, like if I click on this link and open this is the documentation that InfoHio has put together. I sent you links to very specific items, just like in this document here, there's some links to some reminders on how to do some very specific tasks. The full documentation is found on the InfoHio website. So you just go to www.infohio.org. And then along the top, there's 4 little icons. If you click the one on the very far right, that'll take you to the library, the Workflows Handbook. And this is where all the manual sections are. So if you do need to reinstall workflows, you could go under Setup, and then there's the Install, and there's the barcode font. That's another thing that sometimes gets cleaned up over the summer. So if your tech people forgot to install the barcode font, you can go there, download, and install it. Otherwise, we're going to look at our first one, which was the workflows screen. So unfortunately, by this not being in person, I can't exactly print this out for you. But I'm just going to go through. If you did decide to print this out in the 5 minutes you had, because I just sent this out to you last night, I'm just going to walk through parts of the workflow screens, so that anytime when you open a screen like this, so for common terminology, the groups over here of large buttons, these are known as wizard groups, and the individual buttons themselves are referred to as wizards. And this is most of this is terminology that the Cersei Dynex people came up with. So InfoHio has adopted that terminology, because if you clicked on help and you clicked on contents here and did a search, that would actually take you to the help files from the software developer, and that way we're all talking the same language.
I don't think our screen changed to where we're supposed to be.
Oh, well, that's just rude. So you're not seeing workflows at all. Oh, it totally stopped sharing. Are you seeing my screen at all now?
No, we just see you, and when prompted, select keep.
Okay, select keep. Let's try this. All right, let's try. All right, now we're going to try and share again. Share. Seriously? Yeah, you're not seeing my screen at all, are you? No.
I don't think we're seeing what we should see.
No, because
Just see your files.
see my file. Oh, okay. You see workflows now?
Yes.
There we
Okay.
go.
All right. That was funny. Okay. Not even funny in a good way. All right.
I have a friend, when
Yeah.
technology first became pretty popular, and we were one of the trailblazing schools.
Oh yeah.
And he would try to teach me things, and I really tried to learn. And when I didn't understand, he'd just say, "It's just FM." So I would say, "Well, how did you remotely get a hold of me from another school?" He said, "It's just FM." And finally I said, "Well, what is FM, Rick?" And he said, "Freaking magic."
There you go.
So I just go with that. If it works,
Absolutely.
I say, if it doesn't work, I say it's magic.
It's magic. Yeah. I should have like a little wand here that I can just. All right. All right then. Now that we can actually see the screen, we can see the buttons over here. So these are our wizards, and then these are the wizard groups. Then these little icons across the top when you're in the screen, these are known as helpers. Then let's see, let's bring up a student. I'm going to do a homeroom search here. Whenever you see something like this that has is dotted underlines, that means there's additional information. So that means there's a glossary. And if we click on Ariana's name here, we can see additional information about that student. Or if this was a book checked out, we would see additional information about the book. Or in many cases, it's the bill about the book. What else do we have? Display user. If I bring this one up, we can see that we have multiple tabs of information. And we'll also notice at the top here that I have 2 tabs open. I'm going to send you a reminder on this because I think I've forgot to email that out, but I will. But when you log into workflows, by default, it'll only let you have one thing open. And then when you click on something else, something new would open. But workflows will allow you to have multiple tabs open. And that's something you would have to enable. And you would click on Preference, Desktop, Desktop Setup. And you scroll down to the bottom, and you would be putting a checkbox in this window that says Multiple Windows Mode and Tabbed Windows. And when you do, and after you do that, I'm sorry?
Fast. Can you do that again?
Yes. I'm going to email this out just so you know. Preference, Desktop, Desktop Setup. Scroll to the bottom. And you want to put a check mark in front of Multiple Windows Mode and Tabbed Windows. And then you say, okay. It'll remind you that these changes will go into effect the next time you start workflows. So then the next time you start workflows, you'll then be able to have multiple windows open. And when you do, they'll be as tabs across the top of your page or screen.
I have a question right there where you're at, Jim.
Yes.
When you bring up, the student, okay, bring me up a student,
Yes.
okay? And on the top right-hand side, there's a minimize on mine.
Yes.
So when I minimize that student, it goes down, it just goes away. So
Yes.
this is a new setup here with the multiple tabs.
Well, by new, it has been around for about 5 or 6 years.
What?
Yeah. But yes, it will get rid of the minimizing thing, because when you minimized it, the only way you could come back then, if you would come up, it'd be like preference. There would be a screen up here that says view or something like that. And when you click on that, it would show all the windows that you had open that were like piled on top of each other.
Well, I mean, because there's times when I have 2 or 3 students open and I minimize and I go, and it's gone. So
Yeah.
I like this, the multiple tabs. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, this will totally fix that problem.
Thank you.
And like I said, I've got a short cheat sheet with those like 5 steps. I will email to all of you at the end of today's webinar.
Okay, and I also have another question right here on this point.
Yes.
You know where you went in to do a homeroom search? Okay, go back to your basic checkout items.
Yes.
I'm going to set by my default that so I don't have to change the index or anything. I want it to automatically open up in the homeroom format.
Yes.
So isn't there a way by default, so when I open up my checkout items,
Yes.
all I have to do is put in homeroom 12, and then it'll just bring up the whole list of homeroom. The whole list of kids.
Yes, like that.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's also under the preference section.
Yes. So let me show you where that is at. First, you want to close any window that has to do with checkout. Otherwise, it's going to hold on to the old settings. You go to the checkout items wizard. You're going to do a right click and select properties.
Oh.
I have instructions for this as well, which I will email to the group.
Okay.
All right. So once you click on properties, we have a tab here called helpers.
Please stop. Wait. Go to helpers tab.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. The very first button at the top here called user search. These are those preferences of what you were asking. So if I click on this, we'll see, and I go to defaults, we'll see it's prompting by name.
Right.
This is where I would change that to homeroom.
Okay.
And then I would say, and then sort by, I don't know why it says address. That's a weird one. You would probably then want to sort it by, have it sort by name.
Alphabetical, and that's another, it does not sort my classes alphabetically. I have to click on that little name, that little helper up there, for it to sort them alphabetically.
Right, there's your answer right there.
So right there.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, now when I say okay, and say okay again.
Wait, are we sorting by the last name, Judy?
Of course, I wouldn't sort by the first name.
But
So now when I click on checkout, we'll see before it said name. Or I'm sorry, before it said name, now it says homeroom, just like we asked. 12, search, and it is alphabetized by their last name.
Awesome.
Again, I will send you the instructions on this, on what we just did. I also want to show you that if when you click on checkout, if it is not automatically prompting for a name in homeroom, if it's just like this, and you're always having to come up and click on this green button.
Well, you can change it on the gadget. That's how
Yeah.
I like it. So I like this way.
This little thing right here that says start with search helper, that is the action that tells it to prompt for a username or prompt for a homeroom. Otherwise, it's assuming you're going to scan their 14-digit their library barcode. And that's what this little checkbox right here does.
Okay.
All right.
It's so much easier in elementary level to bring up the whole classroom
I would totally agree.
and check out. So, but I've always had to do it with the gadgets. I just would do it right there with the gadget. Put homeroom and whatever.
Right. So you would come up here, and then every time you would come in here, and you would do that, and you would be changing it to homeroom. Yep.
Yeah.
You can totally set it as your preferences.
Awesome.
When you do this, and then at the end of the day, when you close workflows, you will get a prompt that says your settings have changed. You want to save them. Make sure to say yes, or otherwise you'll be doing it again tomorrow.
Right.
Now, if for some reason your district doesn't allow you to save preferences on your computer, and I have 1 or 2 districts that I support that do that, I can actually take this setting here of homeroom at your building and make that the default, so that when you log in, it just does it, and you don't have to do anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I think our district allows us to save our preference.
Okay, Cool.
Remember that.
All right.
This is my 15th year as elementary librarian.
Okay.
So anything to make it easier is a big help.
We can totally do that. That must be Judy then.
How
Okay.
about you want him to say your preference, or do you say?
I can do it myself.
Okay.
That's how
All right.
I do it on my own.
We got a
Yeah.
good team here, Jim.
All right. I'm going to try and show you a couple more things to make your life easier. So yeah, I agree. That's one of the best right there. So let's see. We talked about getting started in workflows. How we logged in. We were just moving around looking at the screen. And for the online help, I showed you that. That is essentially the InfoHio handbook resources. Okay.
And I think that's a great thing. Once that was put on our InfoHio, it's
Yes.
like the blue book Bible got stuck in a shelf somewhere.
Absolutely. You know, I used to print out a fresh copy of that every year, the first 3 years I worked, and then it just sat there and gathered dust because I'm like, I would just go straight to the website because it always had the most recent and up to date. So, yeah,
And it's very user friendly.
good. I'm glad you like that. I am actually working with InfoHio to try and do some more brief video tutorials, little like 2 and 3 minute video tutorials. For example, just like the putting on the multiple windows mode, or how to change your checkout to search by homeroom. Little tiny things like that. So watch for those coming soon, fingers crossed. Let's see, the next thing on our agenda was to talk about user maintenance. We get your students out of Dazzle every single night. So every single night over at OME-RESA, they do an export of all the students, and then it gets sent to the library, and at like 7 o'clock in the morning every morning, those students get loaded into workflows. So if at any time you have a student who is not in workflows, I have some people that would come in here and they're like, oh, you know, they spelled Ariana's name, and they would fix it. And then they would save it. And then the next day, you know what happened? The next day they would come in and Ariana's name would be back to that. And that is because the information, the master information comes out of Dazzle. So if you notice anything incorrect, like the student's name is spelled wrong, they're in the wrong home room, if they have the wrong teacher listed, the wrong grade, any of that information, you need to talk to your building secretary, get them to change it in Dazzle, and then the next day that information will come into workflows and it'll be up to date. Typically, if they register a new student on, let's say, Monday in the front office, by Tuesday, they are in the library software. Any questions on that?
Okay, so we can't change it in there. It has to be done through the secretary's office.
Correct. It has to be done in Dazzle in progress book. Because
Okay.
if you change it here, tomorrow morning it's going to go back the way it was.
Okay. Because the photos now that is on our workflows program, I've had quite a few students that the photo would be wrong. You
Okay.
know, when they're checking out their book and they'll say, that's
Oh.
not me.
Yeah,
You know, I'm a boy, not a girl.
Yeah, totally. Now, all right. Now, photos are special. Photos are special. Those are actually not managed at the front office. So if you have a student that has the incorrect photo, let me know. I can go in and at the very least remove the wrong photo, and then we can try and track down the right one. Because that means that photo was named incorrectly by the picture people when it was given to the district.
Okay,
So
all right.
Christine, ours are like 3 years old, right? For a
Yeah.
building. Yeah, so
Sometimes
we have to
they
update
show
all of ours.
Great picture.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's how ours is. Our
I-
fourth grader
Okay.
is a garden
We've
picture.
never had a wrong picture though.
No.
Like, it's
No, I've
never
never
been
had a
wrong.
Okay.
problem.
Well, on the pictures, if you happen to notice, I mean, if you're at the front office and if you ever notice if the Dazzle people have a newer photo than you do, let me know and I'll talk to the OME-RESA people. They've got a script now to copy the photos from Dazzle to the library software, and they're running that like every 2 weeks.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, they'll have to they don't have access, I don't think, to Dazzle, do you?
no.
So they'll just have to
No.
let me know.
Yeah.
And it'll
So-
forward it to you.
Okay, that sounds great. We can do that easy. like I said, do them little one-offs as needed, and we'll get it figured out. Okay, let's next was talking about circulation. So the circulation helpers, yeah, well, we put her name back the way it was. So checkout. So by default, this is a library software, and by default, it typically wants that 14-digit barcode number of a student. But as we've already discussed, the very first search helper up here allows you to search for the student by homeroom name or other topic. And my computer just beeped at me. I'm not sure why. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me. The next helper over would actually allow you to, once you have a student on the screen, would allow you to bring up their extended information. And here we go. So here we can see their grade, their teacher, their if we had their addresses loaded, it would show their addresses. It would show their parents' name and their phone numbers and email address and all that. Any bills they currently have, any current checkouts. That's what this next button with the little plus sign is good for. The next one over is for registering a new user. As we just discussed, you won't be doing that with the students, but you probably would need to do that for your faculty. Do you guys hand type in your teachers, or do you send them to, did you send them to Dave? Do I load them for you? What do you do about teachers? You know?
Yeah, Dave took care of that.
Okay, and that'll continue. Just send me their names, what building, and we'll get them loaded in.
Okay, and on that, for some reason, some of ours weren't deleted when they left, even though we sent the names. So you're going to probably have a big onslaught, especially from our building, because we have a lot of new teachers, and we had some teachers that left.
Okay.
Same building. We have a lot of teachers that are still listed that have been gone.
But their fines are still there, and some of them owe $800 in books that they lost.
Okay. Well, that would be why they haven't been removed. Yeah. So for those that still have books checked out, you're going to have to put in the note that, please check these, or basically you need to give me permission to check that book in from that teacher and mark it missing, because essentially it is. And we can either mark it as missing, or we can just go ahead and remove it from the system. That is your decision. But
I'll think about it. I like to remember who the people are that lost that many books, so I don't give them any more.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because as long as they still have a book checked out, we cannot delete them from the system.
Right. That's okay. We're good.
Okay.
Well, actually, towards the end of the year last year, Jim or Dave sent us, how to clean all that up and put it in as lost or missing. That was of the tasks that he wanted us to do before we closed out. And so I stay on top of that. I mean, I put them in as lost or missing, and they still, a fine is right there under that teacher's name, but they are put in as lost or missing in my building.
Okay. Like I say, yeah, just and then we'll just, deal with them as needed, and we'll get it cleaned up as we go. No problem. Now, if you're ever interested on learning how to put in your new teachers, I can set it up so that it's real easy peasy for you. Essentially what we would do is, as we saw under the checkout, if you right click on the button, there are properties, and you can set some default settings, one of which you can tell the computer to automatically pick the next user barcode number. And then we would tell it that we are doing, that we want them to be a faculty 1 because they're a teacher. And then when we do that, when we do a new user registration, it's going to assign the first available barcode. It's going to put them in your building. It's going to mark them as a teacher. So then all you have to do is type in their name, say check for duplicate, and okay, and they're in. So I mean, I think it's pretty easy. Again, I have no problem doing this for you. Those are the steps of what I do when you send me the list of the teachers. And if you want, I can put together a short step-by-step on doing those exact same. What I'm thinking of is if you're typing, here's what's going through my head. If you're typing their first name and last name and send it to me in the email, you can do those same steps and type their first name and last name and click save. Any thoughts? There's crickets.
I'd rather just do it and go in.
That's fine. Again, I am fine doing it either way. If you are interested in doing it yourself, let me know, and like I said, I'll put together some instructions for you.
I got a question. Can we go back to where you said you have the student up and it shows the bills they may have, the checkouts they have. Where was that on the student screen?
From Ariana, so I'm during the checkout. The second button at the top has the little plus sign on it. This brings up their full account. Yes.
So there, on the file tabs there, the extended info, bills, checkouts, holds, suspensions.
Yes.
You click on bills.
Yes.
So it will only bring up the current or what that child has,
in the past, but yes.
Past, like
I know
last year.
Right. So by default, so if we look down here, by default, it is bringing up any unpaid. However, if we take this and say all, it would then list everything that they have paid in the past as well.
Yes. How come I didn't know that?
It's magic.
I like that.
It's
Okay.
FM. Matt.
I am. It's magic.
So it'll show everything that's paid because I've had a parent come in and then I just have to go in to the regular report section, and just do a report that way. This is so much easier.
Right. In fact, but since you asked, let me just actually show it in action because I like doing that. We're going to first take this student and Ariana. We're going to charge her $1 because she was not a good person. We're going to bill her, and then we are going to go ahead and I should have just paid it at the same time. Do it. We are going to collect 50 cents in cash, and we're going to take 50 cents and mark that as forgiven. Okay. So now let's go back from checkout screen, pull up Ariana's account. We're going to click on that people. I always think it looks like the little Play School people, right? So Play School people person, click on that. Bills, no outstanding bills. But if we go for all, there's that $1 that she owed for behavior.
Oh my.
And we'll notice where it says owes, there's those dotted lines, which is again is a glossary. So there's more information we can get. We're going to click on that, and we can see that she was billed $1. She paid 50 cents in cash, but 50 cents of it was also forgiven. So we can see what the original bill was, how much money was actually collected, and how much money was just erased off of her account.
So that's awesome. So I'm guessing that was in the big blue Bible.
Yes, somewhere.
Did you say you lost yours?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she burned it.
I could have went into my Info Ohio resource section and looked that up on the workflow book.
Yes, it's probably if we went out here and under circulation and probably looked at paying a bill or billing or one of these things, it's probably buried in there somewhere.
Yeah. You know what? That just made my job so much more easy.
All right. Well, I guess we're done for the day. Oh no, I'm sorry. I've got more icons up here to cover.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
That's it. It's all good.
Oh, yeah, that's what this is for, right, Jim?
That is exactly what this is for, as a reminder on all those things that we learned 12 years ago and haven't had a reason to use since. Or we've discovered that we do need to use them, and we learned there was so much to learn 12 years ago.
And that's true.
It is.
Remember this? It was like it was a big thing, easier. We did do a lot in the training periods we had, and I
Yeah.
did take a lot of notes. You know, and the blue book though, that wasn't very friendly.
No, you're right, it wasn't.
Actually, it was pretty intimidating, I think, because it was so big.
I agree. I would agree with you. This website is a lot more less intimidating, isn't it?
Yes, it's so user friendly. And then the updates in the blue book that Dave would make, email them, and we'd have to print them out, and then we'd have to find out where they go in the blue book.
Yes.
So,
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think Christine had a question there. Christine?
Christine?
Pulling up reports on my computer, but I had a really hard time. It would just give me 8th grade. It wasn't giving me, I need 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade of kids who outstanding overdues.
Okay.
I struggled so bad with that this year because I couldn't get other than 8th grade.
Okay, it sounds to me like your report was just set up incomplete. So I will make a note to look at that, and we'll see what needs to be done.
Can you go over how to do the reports? Just refresh.
Yes, we can. I made a note here. We'll get through checking in, checking out, since that's the official part of today, and then we'll go look at reports. What I'll probably do is I will stop the recording. We can then go in, log in, look specifically at yours, and get it fixed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next icon across the top here, the question mark, this is if a student lost, if you actually hand out a library card, this is where you could give them a new library card number, but we don't do that because their library card ID, our library card number is based off their student ID. So for Ariana in her school district, her district student ID would be 200342. So we take that 6-digit number, we make some magic, and we turn that into a 14-digit barcode. And as part of this barcode, as a reminder, the first digit, the number 2, tells the computer that this is a person. So all people barcodes start with the number 2. All book barcodes start with the number 3. The next 4 numbers for this person, 3044, this tells the InfoHio what school district the student is from. So this student is from District 3044, which I believe was Steubenville. And then the last number is a check digit. It takes those previous 13 numbers and it does a mathematical computation and it decides what that last number is. So that's, again, where the magic comes in. So we don't replace their library barcodes because of this, but that's not like you print them out, so that's not a problem. If the student owed you any money, the next one is check address. That doesn't really apply to us. The next icon is a little hand holding some money. So if Ariana still owed us money, that would be active. We could click on that and it would take us straight to the paying bills section. The next is an open book. This icon actually allows you to briefly catalog a book or an item if you want to check it out. So if a kid found something in the library that you weren't going to check out, I don't know, maybe it's a pencil sharpener you had lying around. I don't even know. Or the stapler the kid wanted to take home. You could literally click on this. It would launch the brief cataloging process. You could write down what he's got, slap on a barcode, click on add brief title. That actually would catalog that item that you can then check out to the student right then and there. Not exactly something I recommend.
I like that because I've had students want to borrow a magazine because they're working on some type of science project. And I'm like, no, you can't take that out, because, it's, first off, magazines are for checkout. But, when they're working on something for school, a science project, I do want to help them out any way I can.
Sure.
I kind of like that.
So you could do it. Well, what I'm trying to say is this right here allows you to do it from the check-in or the checkout window.
Yeah.
And or you could also come down and do it under cataloging. So yeah, there you go. Click on that. When you're doing a brief title, the only thing that is actually, workflows only requires two things in order to check something out. It needs a title,
Right?
right? And it needs a barcode.
Yeah. that's
Those
what
are the only two things that the computer physically needs in order to check something out. So,
not
and
right.
because I have my my computer set up to automatically grab the next barcode, it assigned the barcode. Otherwise, yours would be blank. You would have to scan in a dumb barcode you have lying around and click the add brief title. Okay. The next one is a book with a magnifying glass. So if a child brought up a book and you couldn't read all of the barcode, you could actually pull it up by title. And I had some sample books lying around here somewhere, I thought. So there's Little Women. We could take that, check it out. And so I found it by searching on the title. There it is, and it's checked out with the due date. The next one is a barcode with a pencil on it. This one actually allows you to, so again, the scenario, if a child brings up a book and the barcode is starting to peel off, you can actually replace the barcode from the screen. We click on the barcode with the pencil. You would have to find the book. It assumes that you can't read the title. So you would find the book, say change ID. Oops, I'll resize this a little bit. New item ID. It's then looking for your next dumb barcode. So you would then scan in the next barcode, and then that would actually change the barcode right then and there, peel off the old one, slap on the new one, put a barcode label protector on it, and it's checked out to the kid.
That's quick and easy. Which little helper was that? The one with the pencil?
Yes, that's the one with the pencil.
I've done that multiple times.
That's a lot easier than, going down over there on your drop-down features.
Yes. And again, the idea on this is that, the kid is right there in front of you. You can do it right then and there. You don't have to stop and go to a different screen.
Right.
Okay.
I've had students bring me up books
Sure.
that I know scanned in like a month ago, but now they're bringing it up to check it out, and it won't scan in.
Well, that's stupid.
I don't get it. So I just don't let them check it out. I put it to the side because I don't have time to go over there in the common tasks section and do it. So
Right.
that makes it easier.
All right. All
And
right.
you will print us out dumb labels, if we need more, because I think I
definitely
only
need more.
I think I only have like 3 sheets. But back in the day, we had them in a roll. We had them in a roll that had a whole bunch on it.
Yeah, those would be ones that were purchased from a vendor, and they were more heavy duty and had a nice vinyl covering to them.
They were, yes, sir.
Yeah, I talked to Angie yesterday at OME-RESA, and they are getting. I mean, I can see about getting some printed and sent out to you, but she does want to get out of the printing of labels business. She didn't realize that Dave was still doing this. So it is something that she's going to ask the districts to start doing themselves. And I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to do.
Actually, I have done my own. But
Okay.
I only do like 2 or 3 sheets at a time. And like you just said, they're not as durable.
Yeah,
Even
totally.
the seals, and they just wear.
Right. And well, if I sent you the same ones, I would be printing them on the Avery 5160 labels too. They're going to be they're going to be that same quality. If you do want the more heavy duty quality one, I can contact some vendors and get some pricing for you. I think last time I did it, the pricing comes down to like 2 or 3 cents a label, and then you have to buy them by I think batches of like 250. But if every building in the district needs some, you know, we'd get a roll for each building.
I mean, I didn't know that's how it was back when we were getting those rolls of done labels. I mean, you know, I don't have a problem printing mine out.
Okay.
You know, I didn't know that that's how it was done back then.
Yeah, back in the good old days when money was flowing, we were able to go out and buy them. Now we run them through the printer ourselves.
Okay.
We do, if you guys would prefer those. The problem with them on our level, on this level, and they just peel them off. I mean, I don't even think they do it on purpose. It's just
No.
like a for kids, you know, they
It's
feel
just
like
they're just sitting in the room and just probably don't even notice that their fingers picking them off.
right. But
Yeah.
we'll probably, you know, if you could send us that contact information, or if you can contact the vendors for us, get us a price and an address, that would be great.
Yeah, I can totally do that. Now,
All right.
I presume when you put the new labels on, you are putting a label protector over them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So get us the price for that too.
Okay. Yeah, because otherwise, otherwise you're talking a shelf life of only like days versus weeks.
Right.
Yeah, I will check on that for y'all.
My computer, I've gone to
Then the next icon is an icon that looks like a calendar, and this allows you to change the due date. So as you can see, my books here, they check out for a week at a time. So maybe Ariana should check these two out, and she wanted a third one, and she wanted the third one to be due after Labor Day break. So I could come up here, click on the calendar. Oops. I then have now three options. I can say use this this due date that I'm going to, well, let's pick the due date first. I apologize, sorry about that. Click on the gadget, and you would then find the date when you want this book due. So normally it would be due on the 27th, but I'm going to let her have it until September the 3rd. I'm going to give her an extra week. Say okay. I have three options now. I can say for this one checkout only, so for the one next book that I check, or if I say for this user only, and if I then check out like 2 or 3 books, it will use this date for all 3 of those. Or if I say from now on, it'll be for everyone until I close the checkout items window. So we'll say special due date will be used. So let me check out one more book to Ariana. Oh, and she has too many. So we're going to use our super secret password, right? Everybody knows what their super secret password is?
Oh, yeah, I have a comment on that one.
Okay. It is so super secret, it's hard to remember. So there we go. We gave it to her again, and we say special due date will be used. Now, if I say check out to a new user, and I bring up homeroom 12 again, and now we're going to do Darren, we'll see that this due date is still going to be used because I never closed the checkout window. So let me check out a book to Darren.
Oh, yeah. I see that.
Okay, and there's another one for him. Oh,
Super password.
what was that?
I have a question about the super password.
Okay.
Why do I have to type it in 4 or 5 times?
Yes.
You shouldn't. Let me show one last thing, and then we're going to address that for a minute. All right, so I want to finish by showing that the due date here, it did apply for Darren. If I hit the close, and I close the checkout window, now when I go back in, well, now this might be what you're getting. So.
Oh, no, I have to type it in 5 times.
Yeah.
Well, right. So right now, I just wanted to show that message of due date of special due date has been erased. Now, if you have to type it in more than once, it's very likely that there's more than one thing wrong with this student account. It could be either they have too many checked out, and they're overdue, and they owe you money, and there might be something else. So you're actually overriding each individual action. So next time you have a kid that has more than one, if you can send me his name or even his barcode, I can go in and look and tell you why you're having to type it more than once.
can we do it ourselves by going to user maintenance?
Yeah, actually, it'll actually tell you on the screen. So for example, let's go into modify user. Let's modify Darren. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to mark him expired here. All right, we're going to mark him as expired. Okay. I'm just going to play here real quick and try and create a scenario that's going to cause multiple pop-ups.
Okay.
So he was really bad.
What's their behavior?
All right.
Do
So
we-
now,
Are we allowed to put behavior in that?
You gotta be careful. We don't want you guys to get in any trouble.
yeah, that'd be an Indian Creek local schools policy and procedure. I'm unable to answer that question. All right. So now when we go to checkout, if I pull up Darren's account,
No.
number one, I'm getting blocked because his account has expired. So I'm going to update him there. I'm having to hit the override because he's blocked and he has too many checkouts.
And I don't, does it come up in red like that?
Yes.
Mine does.
Comes up in red.
And it always has a different thing on there when we keep hitting that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't read it.
Yeah.
Just to keep it simple.
So
Yeah.
then this one then came up and told me why he's being blocked. He's being blocked because he owes $5, which is over the threshold for this. And then at times there'll also be a little message up here that'll say alert. Sometimes like right here, that might have another message behind it.
Okay, I see now.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that probably, in my case anyway,
Mhm.
when I had to hit super 3 times, I didn't read the other 2 messages.
Me too.
So I just, of all the things you taught us, that might be the one today that was, that I really had no idea of what was happening.
So yeah, and I mean, they're standing right in front of you. You want to get them in and get them out and take care of it. So yeah, anytime you can always then come back in, look at him, the student, go a little slower, see why they're being blocked, and then we can address what those reasons are. Okay. So that's checking out, and then checking in, I think is pretty brainless. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. Not that it matters. I spent time on this. So I'm going to bring it up and show you because I thought it was too fun. Oh, there it is. I created these cute little screenshots with cute little barcodes on them, with little book covers and everything. So I just wanted to bring it up on the screen here, just for fun. So there we can check in Little Women. Oops. Put my cursor in the right box, then check in the book. So there's Little Women. Then we can check in our Cars books. And then you can see where it's has the title, has the barcode, the fact that it's being taken back to available, and then the barcode number the student was checked out on. Some accounts are set up that when you do this, the student information will actually appear up here. And that varies district by district. So meaning that, so this was checked out to Darren. So in some districts, Darren's name would appear right up here at the top of the screen. And that, like I said, that changes district by district. If that's something you're interested in and that you want to see during check-in, let me know and we'll make that happen.
I want the little pictures of the books. I mean, because like I decorate my bulletin boards, I would like to have pictures of the different books.
Like this? You mean like I did here with the draw 50 cars over here?
Yeah.
Like that? Well, let me show you how I did that.
Oh, you just went in and did it that way.
Yeah, that's all I did.
We thought it was like a big trick.
No, I came out here and
Okay, done it that way.
yeah, that's all. Copy image. The last thing I guess I could show as a tip and trick for during check-in, if the book is not checked out, you get this pop-up window that says item not checked out.
Yes.
And then you have to stop, you have to click on it, and then you can go on to the next. Under check-in items, we can do a right click and say properties. I'll make this big enough that we can see. I'm gonna find it. Here, it says display item checked out error in a separate window. Turn off that check box, say okay. Now when you're checking in, if it's not checked out, the message just appears over here.
Oh, great.
And you don't have to stop, click OK, and then grab your scanner and continue checking in. And again, that was right-click check-in, select properties, and remove the check for display item not checked out error in separate window. And I'll send that out as a tip here in a few at the end of the webinar as well. Let me look at our agenda here to see what else we're going to cover. No, let's go there. All right, agenda, where'd you go?
To be rated.
Check in, check out, and circulation. So that's really all I really had planned on covering. Like I said, my idea behind this today was to make sure that people who showed up on their first day could get the basics done. They can log in, they can check in, they can check out. We have the one question from, was it Christine about her reports, which we'll look at. Are there any other questions, general questions you have about workflows that I can answer for you?
The little helpers on the top of your workflows, the helpers that you just went through.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't been on mine since last May, but honest to Pete, I think there's only like 5 or 6 helpers on the top of mine. I don't have all those choices.
I do. We're going to look here now in the middle school too.
Okay.
This is a crime to say because we're in a library media center where actually the staff here takes care of all the computers and we don't have any computers in here except mine.
Sure.
Yes. That's another story that you can't help us with. But I just wanted to let you know I have to leave here because my eye doctor, now almost completely blind without my glasses, found a space for me to fit in. But whatever the girls want to go over, if you want to fill up till that 11 o'clock time, I'm sure they have some questions. I had some about cataloging, but I can't remember what they are now.
All right, well, you know how to get a hold of me. Feel free to, we can call me up. We can do an individual session like this at any time. I do plan on holding some sessions on cataloging reminders and tips and tricks on that as well. We are going to be holding a library user group meeting Friday, September the 20th. And at that meeting, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. And one of the items on the agenda for that day is definitely going to be asking everyone at the districts, what do you need? What trainings do you need? Which ones do you want in person? Which ones can we do as webinars? And we're going to try and see how much we can do for y'all. Okay?
This is not opening. It
I'm
said,
I'm probably going to sign up for that Friday one because I don't work on Friday.
Okay.
But we are all coming to September 3rd. So after today, they might have, and after they go back and actually start with the kids tomorrow, they have a lot of questions for you for September the 3rd. So
that'll be great. Test me.
What did you plan to cover on September the 3rd? I'm sorry.
That's right. September 3rd. Let me bring up that agenda real quick. That's going to be a little more in depth. Oh, well, I'm sure you can read that one, right? Just kidding. Obviously, we're going to cover what we did right now because again, The audience is new library people, but if we don't have anybody else, we'll skip everything else we did. We will go into more details about setting the individual properties on those buttons. We will then talk about placing holds, creating bills, offline circulation, the mobile circ, and if as time permits, we will cover cataloging and reports as well.
Okay, can I add 2 things or should we save them for the, well, I have them on my mind, I want to make sure I remember. So
Sure.
weeding, provide us some in-service on weeding because everyone except this building, all the rest of the girls are all going to be in a new building.
Okay.
Or a renovated or new building. So there's going to be a big issue with weeding, plus the fact that we don't get very much money buying new books.
Okay.
Weeding and inventory. Inventory is always a big issue. And we want to do that mobile cert if we can, but we really I need some guidance for that.
No, I haven't used it. I've read everything that Dave says, but no, I haven't done the mobile circ.
Okay. I can show you those right now. Also, and yes, we will definitely at some point, I can send you information on weeding. And when you're ready for an inventory, we will do that as well. In the spring, I will definitely have an inventory workshop, and it'll be interactive, in which I will ask people, come to me, we will log into my test library, and you will inventory that library, and you will do the steps from beginning to end. And then you can go back to your school and put it into practice.
Yeah, and we get out relatively early. We get out May 22nd or something, so we would have to do it maybe the end of April if possible.
Sure.
I'm going to send you a calendar of those professional development days we have.
Okay.
We can fit it in there because we have one almost every month on a Wednesday.
Okay. Yes, and at those PD things, if you ever want me to, as we discussed, I can definitely remote connect like this, whether it be for 10 or 15 minutes or for an hour. I mean, or more, whatever. Like, meaning if you just have 1 or 2 small topics you want to cover, or if you want to cover something lengthy, I'm more than happy to. All right.
This has been very helpful. I'm going to cut out.
Yes.
My eye appointment. But
Yeah, totally. Go run. Not a problem. No worries.
All right, Jim, I need your help.
Okay.
I have the configuration. It says a logout time of
60,000. Ignore that. That's how long. That's how much. You have 60,000 seconds to type in your username and password.
Okay, well, when I click OK, it says unknown host. Like I can't pull up workflows.
Okay.
Just that in your 5680.
It is there.
You have to type in OME-RESA.
It's there. OME-RESA.info.org 5680 name PCGUI dash.
Yeah, it doesn't. That you can ignore that. The 2 things of what it's trying to do is the OME-RESA.infoohio.org.
That's there.
And 5680.
That's there.
I would suggest delete the line that says the IP address and retype it, because if by accident you have a space at the very beginning, that's going to muck it up.
Or space at the end.
OME-RESA.
Even if you do ORG and you hit the space, it'll mess it up.
Yeah.
If you hit like
Info.
OME-RESA and then you hit the .org, or you type in the .org and accidentally hit the space button and hit, it won't let you do it. You have to go back and take it out.
Unknown host.
Okay. But are you on the computer that is being? You're not on the computer that's being broadcast, are you?
No, this is where we check in and out books and everything.
Well, I don't know if this is the problem though, Jim. I remember a couple times last year when we had some OME-RESA server issues that I had to do a total shutdown on my computer because they would come up unknown host. So I would do a total shutdown on my computer and then reboot it and then go back in and it would open up.
So shut down my computer and turn it back on.
I mean, what do you think, Jim? I mean, that's what actually I would do.
I mean, if you've had that in the past, that very well could be. I to be honest, I've never seen that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've never experienced that. But then again, this is also my first year at OME-RESA, so I don't know what the the little nuances of those funny little things are.
Well, like I said, that usually happened when we had OME-RESA server issues.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I would have to do a total computer shutdown and then a reboot.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to stop the recording on this, and then we're going to start talking about individual Indian Creek stuff. Okay. So let me stop the recording before I forget. Do you want to stop?